the way to the max.
We
Turned up by the way to the max.
We turned up, yeah.
Turned up by the way to the max.
We turned up, yeah.
Turned up by the way to the max.
We turned up, yeah.
Turned up by the way to the max.
Ay.
This shit slap, this shit black.
shit
Tell the
black, yeah.
DJ, won't you bring that back?
Bring
Turn
that
this
back.
motherfucker up, had the whole club spank.
Yeah.
Recording. Thank you for tapping into the Authentic Podcast, Intriguing Nerds. I'm your host, JT, aka Mr. Love Game, here with none of my co-hosts that are here right now. Cairo will be coming in late, shortly, you know, but he a little aimless right now. I got to get his food and all this other mental space writing shit like that. So can't wait for this motherfucker. So he'll jump on and then I'll introduce him. But I do have a special co-host who I was chopping up in the beginning. She's been on the episode a few times, and I'm so thankful for her. We'll give a shout out to Janae.
Hey guys, how are you?
Hello.
Hello, how are you? Good. How you guys? How you queens doing today?
Good.
Wonderful.
It's beautiful.
But we're going to introduce some of these lovely guests. You know, we got, I'm going to let them introduce themselves a little bit more, but we got one of my dear long friends, Mikeal. Jinae now. How you doing, baby?
Hello. Good. How are you?
I'm blessed. Wonderful dancer, great person. One of the first real friends I had out here in LA over the years, and worked with her. And it's great to have her on this platform right here. And then we got I think one just logged off. We got Miss Tiff Talk. She's on her podcast. Very smart, intellectual woman, and can give you the meanest handstand ever.
Working on it.
Hi. You worked on it over the years. You've done your thing, girl. So I respect that. We got a boss lady, representing the Caribbean woman. They call Miss Bad Ink. And she be killing the game and really be bossing up on motherfuckers. We give her Miss Brittany.
Nice to meet everybody.
Oh.
Hey, so many of y'all. So I'm like going down the list. All right.
I hear the corn man. Can you give me one?
Facts.
Right. I know that sound.
I didn't hear what y'all said, so I feel attacked. I needed one more guy. Like, Cairo, get on this motherfucker. Shit.
He asked for a corn.
See, the first problem, you don't listen. First problem, I'm just kidding. Just play.
I know, we're gonna lose this battle. I'm gonna lose this battle right here. I ain't even here to win. I'm just like this. I've learned what you with me, you get, no matter how right he is, he's always wrong. We wrong, period. Men wrong, period. So we got
I don't agree.
I want to give all the intros in. Got another lovely boss woman, Antonesia. How you doing, baby?
I'm good. How are you and everyone here?
Hello.
We blessed. Thank you for jumping on last second. We got a lady. I don't know if y'all noticed. Over the years I cleaned homes. I've cleaned about from like 2015 to 2018. I cleaned about 200 homes. But recently, like last year, like from October up until like last month, I cleaned about 50, 60 homes. And one of the clients, she's on here right now. I met her cleaning her home. She's a boss woman herself. She does event planning, weddings, all that good stuff. And, I wanted to connect with her, and she's on here. So I want to give it up for Miss Diana. I don't want to say her last name wrong. So I'm going to say Diana.
Hi, guys. How are you?
Is it Sade?
Oh, no, it's Sabb.
Sad. Okay.
You're adding all these letters. No, it's just Sabb.
I know, say Sade.
Sabe.
I know. No ordinary love ass. My ass. I'm just shipping this shit. I got another lady on here, Miss Tiff Toney. I've known her since my early years in LA, and she been doing her film thing. She's another boss, fella Aries, and I've seen her come from a long ways, and she is killing the game right now. And I'm so happy to see the growth for her and how far she's came, and I'm sure vice versa. So she's on the platform right now. We give it up for Miss Tiffany Toney.
Hi, thank you, everybody. It's so good to see all of you.
Yes, it's Queens right here. It's Queen. Who else? I got Miss ThickFit. I met this lady. Well, I never met her in person, but I seen her on IG, and I've only been following each other for a few weeks, but she's so inspiring. Like she got to be the strongest woman I've ever followed on Instagram, and cover this text. And I just love watching the video because she just be lifting and getting fit. Her Instagram is ThickFit. We want to give it up for Miss Toya.
Hello, hey everybody. Thank you for having
Nice to meet you.
Yay!
Hi.
I felt bad because some people on East Coast time and like later time, so we 3:00 here, but it's like 5 or 6 other places. So I was just sitting there and I sent the email, I was rushing it. And I said 3:00 and I didn't put Cali time, so she was ready at 3 her time. And I'm like, oh, it's like 1:30 here. It's like 1:00. Oh shit! So I'm so thankful that she's able to get on this thing, and made it work. I think I got everybody. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If I left out anybody, then that's too damn bad. I'm just kidding. Welcome, ladies. Welcome to the podcast. How y'all doing today?
Good.
I'm so excited. I'll let y'all start with whoever want to go first. Tell a little about yourself, your journey, a little something that people can know. We're gonna make it quick though, because we really want to dive into the relationship stuff. So whoever wants to start first.
I'll go first. Oh. Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm Tiffany Toney, and I am an author. I write motivational books based on, just my own journey with self-healing and just rebuilding myself every day as a woman and as a Black woman, and just encouraging others to do the same. I make films along the same lines. I'm currently finishing up a feature that I'm working to get done, and just taking my journey one day at a time. So it's really nice to meet all of you and to see all of you empower beautiful Black women here with me today.
Yay!
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Next, if y'all can keep it in 30 seconds like she just did, that'll be amazing.
My name is Brittany. I go by BB. My Instagram is Miss Bad Inc. I am working on a couple of different business ventures, and I'm recently trying to get into crypto. I do stocks. I try to help people get into stocks, get their own account going, because we have 401ks, but we don't know what's going on with it. So I try to motivate people to get their stock accounts going.
Love it.
Nice. Next up.
I'll go.
Go ahead.
Okay. So I'm Mikeal, Janae. I am a fashion designer, CEO of Mikeal, Janae. You can check me out on MikealJanae.com if you're interested in a couple of different looks. I'm from the Bay Area, been in LA for 8 to 9 years now, came out here as a professional dancer and transferred over to a more professional career that was more dependable. So that's me.
Mikeal, yay, love me some Mikeal. Welcome, baby. So thankful you got on.
Thank you. What'd you say?
No, I said I'm so thankful you got on.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Of course. You were actually like one of the first women I had in mind. I said, Mikeal, but I didn't hit you up till later in the week because life is crazy. I was like, all right, let me hit her up. So, I'm thankful. Next up, everybody get their little 30 seconds of shine, baby.
Hey, this is Diana. I do events, production. So from weddings, corporate events, virtual events, pretty much any type of event. I've been in LA for 13 years now. And yeah,
Nice.
originally from South Carolina, Charleston. I live in Los Angeles.
Nice. Next. There's only like 2 more left, 2 or 3 more, so jump in.
All right, so my name is actually Tiffany Ramm. I'm fully branded across all platforms as Tiff Talk TV. I'm a licensed therapist, and I have over 15 years of experience in social service and the helping professions, but also over 10, 15 years in entertainment, multimedia host, modeling, and coaching. So whether it's mental health or otherwise, my brand is all about helping people be fully mental, physical, and sexual health. So I'm all about helping people be their best authentic self.
Rocks with Tiff. I met Tiffany when I was working with this network, and from day one, she's when it comes to, because everybody got their own. We always go by our judgment of people, and she's just always been solid, real, honest, genuine. Look out like a friend, and to me, living out in LA, you can't throw a friend around loosely, and I consider her a friend. So thank you, Tiffany. I'm so glad you got on this too. Next lady.
Hello, my name is Latoya. I have been in the military for 17 years. I am all about fitness. It is my fitness brand is ThickFitFitness, and I'm all about body positivity, making sure that, because I'm 210 pounds, you probably won't be able to tell from looking at my picture, but I am. So I try to get women to not worry about a scale, but worry about how they feel about themselves. So that's me, Thick Fit Fitness. That's what I care about. And you all are awesome. Thank you for having me.
And lastly, there's me. My name is Antonisha. I am the owner of Cosmic Queen Co. So it's a beauty brand, primarily focused on eyelashes and lip gloss. I will be expanding into body oils and more organic products. I also am on this real journey to encourage our Black woman, to encourage all women, but in particularly the Black woman, to really start doing self-talks. We really got to start talking with ourselves before we can, try to focus on the things outside of us. It's very important to be well balanced on the inside. So I'm just spreading my message of love, peace, prosperity, abundance, success to you all you beautiful Black queens. And I'm just happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Take that to everyone. Ladies, I really am thankful for y'all because, I wasn't sure who was going to get on, but like my life, I always look at my life. I've been out here over 10 years now from DC. And I came out here at 25. I graduated college, shout out Montgomery College in Maryland. I graduated 2009 theater. And I didn't want to be one of those people who got a degree, but don't live the career. So I made sure when I picked my degree, because I've been writing since I was 8 years old. I'm 36 now. So I was like, I always wanted to make plays and films. So I said, so I did theater, directed my first play. And then I came out LA with that play, Love Game, which Mikeal was in a few years ago. And she danced in, and Janae hosted when I brought it back because I've had multiple runs on it. And so I came out here on faith and my play. And I told myself to survive LA, I was hard to build real relationships. So I knew that I might have friends that will be actors, entertainers, just people that I do business with, but they may be my friends. So, and Mikeal is one, she's one of the first friends, and Tiffany, Toney, they was two ladies I've known the longest that's in this chat right now, on this pod right now. And they've always been solid women since I've known them, always been genuine. And that's the things I focus on. This is talented people everywhere. Everybody move out here, 90% got talent, but your character says a lot, because everybody's energies don't mess with others. I didn't know when I met Mikeal years ago that we'd be friends to this day. I felt it because I felt I have great discernment. I tell from day one, I was like, this is a solid woman, but people are from different areas. And I've learned that you might be close with people, but they might not fuck with you like you fuck with them. And there's people I fuck with out here, men and women, that I've rocked with that didn't rock with me. And so I'm thankful for women like Tiffany and Mikeal because they gave me, especially Mikeal, because we was doing business together, and then we didn't. After that, she moved on, did her things and stuff, and you don't know if people still will fuck with you over the years. They rock with you, and you did your work. It's cool, but that don't mean that you're friends. That don't mean they give a fuck.
I think it's really interesting that you bring that up. And first of all, thank you for that. it is really challenging to find, you know, your solid group, your tribe out here. And sometimes it's hard to be that too, because we're like, you know, you really have to level up spiritually, financially, emotionally, living in a place like this where everybody is talented. But there's something to be said about finding people who just see you, and not only just like see you as a resource, but they see you and they believe in who you are and what you're about, and to allow that to just organically grow into however you can support each other. So I think that's really important that you found that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree with Tiffany. Especially being in LA, you know, you really, like he said, you really can't just call everyone your friends. Everyone, for the most part, is looking for a come up. So, you know, as soon as you get booked, you know, you don't know if they're really there for you or not. And the thing with him is that, you know, we met in like the clubs kind of deal. So he just, you know, I was dancing. He's like, yo, I got this going on and this, that, and the third. So of course, you know, me being new to LA, I don't know him. I can't be like, oh, okay, well, that's my friend, right? So it was an opportunity. But working with him, I started to know who he was genuinely. And, you know, I don't just take people in just for the sake of it. Like not that I have trust issues, but you just can't live in a place like this. So I agree with you, Tiffany, all the way. Everything that you said, it definitely, I'm definitely appreciative of him, and then, you know, of our friendship and him honoring us the way that he does.
I think he dropped out.
And we lost him.
Well, with that, while he comes back, I know that LA has a really bad rap for, you know, basically what you're all saying is, you know, just being careful of who you associate with and not feeling used. But thankfully, I feel blessed, and everybody reminds me it's probably my therapy background and setting boundaries and communication skills and all that. But I really honestly haven't had very many bad experiences with humans in LA like that. But I came to LA on a whole different life experience and journey. And like I said, I have always been very aware of boundaries and people and relationships. But thankfully, I was blessed with the same network I made within the first 3 months that I moved to LA, which is almost 5 years ago now, who's still in my life now. And everybody since, if I was going to name drop, which I won't, are, you know, network TV shows launching their own apps, like extremely successful, and happy to watch people glow up around you and with you. And so I want people to know, like, although there is this vibe where, yes, you have to be very confident and secure in your own journey in life, but LA doesn't have to be that experience. So long as, like, you're really, you have to really be confident in yourself. Everybody is great, but your moment for when your greatness will be recognized really comes with consistency and discipline. And I think, like, as long as you have that, like, your time will come. So I just want people to know, like, I'm one of very few people where I had like one or two weird business, like, you know, situations happen, but ultimately, like, my experience in LA has been a blessing. I will never live anywhere else permanently, in regards to business and what I plan, you know, to do and am doing in entertainment. Like, LA, once I stepped foot here, was like, this is it. This is where I'm supposed to be. And it's been a blessing ever since I've been here.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Tiff. It really, it gives me hope, honestly, because unfortunately that hasn't been my experience, but I also realized that I had to take some accountability and just say, you know what, you didn't do the best job of communicating your boundaries and setting proper boundaries. And so, I think that's something that we all need to understand about ourselves. And it's great to just hear, you know, other Black women talking about positive experiences they've had. Me working in film, being an actress, and also, you know, writing and doing what I do, it seems that, you know, sometimes I encounter people where I feel like it's just about, like, what can I get from you? And which I know we're supposed to use each other because we all have different gifts and we can do that. But I think there's a healthy way to do it. And so I look forward to, you know, those experiences that you've had and just having more of those as I grow and learn how to communicate and set my own boundaries. So it's refreshing to hear that, you know, people can relate to both ends of that, and just seeing other beautiful Black women who are here and present in this space and time for whatever reason. I'm thankful. So I appreciate that.
No problem. But I don't say to take away from that experience, because I know it's such a shared experience. And like I said, it's probably because I'm on also like the therapy side of things. So I end up having a lot of clients in the industry that I help coach through this. Like, you know, so I remember hearing in the church a long time ago, and it applies whether you're spiritual, religious, or whatever, is that like a victory delayed is not a war lost. Which just because things aren't happening in the rhythm at the time, the way you saw it, doesn't mean like the end goal isn't ultimately going to happen. You should have a vision and you should manifest, but give it enough flexibility that it can always be better and bigger than you imagined in a different way than you thought. So like manifest, have a vision, but give it a flexibility to like, it could blow your mind, and it probably will if you keep consistent and disciplined in it. So I definitely learned that because there was opportunities where like, I thought I was doing one thing and boom, like it was this other thing. I was like, oh, okay. But just go with it, Tiffany. Like, just, okay, don't be so stringent. Like, no, it's going to happen this way. Like, it actually might happen a whole other way. So just you guys are going to like vibe in that. So yeah.
Yeah, that's powerful.
Yeah, LA is not a bad place. Listen there.
I'm gonna take this moment to hop in real quick. I'm so sorry I'm late, guys. My name is Kyra Spencer. I'm one of the other co-hosts of the Tap In Podcast with JT. So glad to have all of you on. I have no clue where we are in terms of the schedule because, again, I was late, life happened. So I'm going to let y'all keep on talking. And if I feel like I need to ask something, I will.
You haven't missed anything. You came just in time.
Right.
I just want to get right into it. I'm going to let y'all talk and talk into the next question. Y'all all bosses in now. How has dating been as a boss lady? Whoever.
How has dating been since being a boss lady? Is that the question?
Yeah, that's what he's asking. Yeah.
Well, okay. I'll start. It's, I guess, just from my personal experience, it hasn't been challenging, at least as far as being in LA, because that's where majority of all my business started, from the dance career to now fashion. It hasn't been challenging for me personally. I do think that, you know, due to my previous experiences, I kind of already, when I came out here, I kind of already knew what I was looking for. And if you didn't fall in that category of what I was looking for, you were just something at the time. But I did not try to actually pursue a person until I actually seen you check off those marks. And once I did, now married, we were dating. We've been dating since 2013. And it's been great. Honestly, that's just me personally. I'm not trying to sound cliche, but I haven't had any issues in terms of the industry and dating.
Okay, maybe someone who has an issue or is single. Anyone?
I got all the issues.
We only need 1 to 3, but you know, feel free to
I have all the issues. That's why I'm here. Y'all need to help me because at this point it's me. At this point, it has to be me. No, I think that I just get so caught up on work. I just launched my own pre-workout. So I'm into branding and marketing and trying to get myself off the ground. And I always run into people that aren't used to a woman who doesn't need them, but wants them. And, you know, sometimes men want to be needed, and I can't pretend to be like, oh, I don't know. I can't stroke an ego like that. I don't know. Help.
I mean, it's natural in our nature though to want to be providers. So like, it goes both ways. Some of us just want to be providers. I've also heard the negative side, which is a lot of men are controlling. Me personally, like, I like a woman that's got her own thing going. I don't want to have to do everything for you, but every once in a while, I'm going to do something just because I'm a man and that's what I know I have to do. But you know, I'm not going to take over your life or anything. Anybody else?
I think.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say I'm actually I moved to LA being married and very quickly found myself in divorce. So I'm actually a survivor of emotional and financial abuse in that relationship, which, like, who knew that was gonna happen with all the skills I had, whoop-de-doop-de, which just goes to show, like, it can happen to anybody, any, like, socioeconomic background, like, financial background, race, ethnicity, like, this abuse can happen to anybody. But with that being said, like, I had to do a lot of self-care to get ready to be ready for a relationship. And I knew that, like, healing my own self, whatever. And I have a lot of other complexities that I will just not surprise y'all with on this podcast. But ultimately dating, like, I did my own self-work for that and set my boundaries about what that looked like. But similarly, like, ThickFit, what I found is that because I was, a survivor of financial abuse, and prior to that had been very independent and still am, but I made it clear, like, I'm going to be able to provide for myself anything that I want or need in my goals. But how I would fulfill man's or partner's need to be a provider is that to reaffirm, like, I do need you emotionally. Like, I can and I'm capable of doing anything without you. But I believe relationship is a partnership, and that if you're not willing to build with me in some way, not that we're building even the same thing, but you're probably doing your thing, I'm doing my thing, but they should collaboratively work towards some mutual end. That emotionally, that's what you're here for as a human. So I require partners to be much more emotionally intelligent and aware than anything else. Of course, I have my little check boxes, and I want you to be like equal or higher than me in some areas. But ultimately, how to make a man or a partner feel like they're providing is to say, hey, I need you to emotionally tap in. Right? Like, yeah, I don't necessarily financially need you. I don't necessarily need you in other ways. But if you can't emotionally tap in, like, what are you here for? So that's kind of how and a lot of people, our society hasn't trained us how to be emotionally intelligent. So that was really challenging for other partners. And I had no problem being like, well, next, well, you go develop that skill. Next one. And so I found a partner that was like, no, yeah, this is what I'm here for.
I definitely think dating is easy too, depending, like, if you do have your own business, or if you're in a certain industry, if you have someone who can relate to that, because then now they understand what your daily schedule is, what it looks like overall. So for me, I think the reason why I didn't have any issues, because my husband was a professional dancer for 15 years. So he knew what touring was like. He knew what being out was like. He knew on touring what they do out, which was a gift and a curse at first, because of course he's seen what happened on the road. And so he's like, I don't know if I want to date another entertainer, but it's kind of hard to not, because those are the people who understand you the most. So I think, in like fitness, you definitely, not saying to date somebody in just fitness, but someone who runs a business similar to you or just understands what that looks like, then you guys will be able to connect a lot better.
I can relate to that 100% because, like, my partner is in film as well. And before that, I tried exploring, like, at first I was like, well, I need somebody that just has a regular, like, 9-to-5 situation, because my life is so, crazy. I don't know if they'll get it, if they'll understand. And sometimes that worked and other times it didn't. When I found the complexity of, like, because I can provide for myself and have been able to for a very long time, but I found myself meeting guys who were extremely wealthy. And at first I thought, oh, that's what I want. That was on my list. This is perfect, But then I found them sort of seeing me as just another thing that they owned, just another piece of property. And when I didn't function the way that, that I was supposed to, then it became a major issue and a major problem. And they would, as you said, I was a victim of financial abuse as well, because I got too comfortable too quickly in a situation in which somebody wanted to provide for me. And I thought that was their love language. So I was like, okay, let him. And I kind of dropped the ball on just doing me and still being the boss that I was born into being. So I kind of had to check myself and really just understand that a lot of those things that I had on that checklist were not as important as I thought they were. And then there were other things that weren't on the list at all that I realized I actually really needed, in terms of just like the love, the emotional support, the encouragement, and just wanting to be my teammate and not compete, I'm
going to chime in really quickly on that. From my experience with multiple individuals, just having conversation, and even in some relationships that I've had, I've noticed men have a hard time offering emotional support. And I do believe it's just what they have been taught to do. Like, they haven't been, I'm sorry guys for the background, but they haven't been taught to express themselves properly. A lot of things come off as toxic or nonchalant, or just from a lot of their past traumas and hurts and pains and things that they haven't self-healed and done, and actually took the time to sit down and deal with themselves so that they can become a better partner ultimately for women like myself and you all, you know. So I think too, at some point, we should be able to, if we can balance ourselves and be in control of our emotional centers, we would then be able to offer some assistance in helping the men become more emotionally involved so that they can ultimately be what we need them to be. Because men, we do need you. We love you. We want you. Even if we are independent, we still need our men. You know,
Absolutely.
But I think that's what comes in between, you know, it's like guys could say like how a woman could pick and choose when she wants the man. She wants to be independent, but then wants to be dependent on, want to be dependent on the man at certain moments to benefit her. So sometimes that could rub guys the wrong way. Now, being boss women, y'all ladies getting it together, do you feel, being as boss, that y'all may have intimidated men? Do you feel like men are intimidated by being you independent and your success? Anyone?
I do think that can be a thing. I will say prior to my marriage, I was dating someone who, you know, he wasn't doing the things that I was doing. And ultimately, because I was living my dream, I got cheated on because I wasn't giving him enough time. And it was, you know, he chose someone, not even like being funny, less than me, even in age. Because that's what he connected with, you know? So I do think that, you know, depending on what a woman has in her life, it can be intimidating, but that I think that that's intimidating to the weak man. And I say that not like, you know, like, I don't mean that in a harsh way, but, you know, a woman doing her thing shouldn't be intimidating. And when you have your partner, he should be able to enhance that. It shouldn't be anything where it's like, oh, well, you know, it shouldn't be no jealousy factor at any point or any intimidation. Right. It definitely should be a partnership, and he should want you to be better, you know, than where you're at. So I personally never agreed with the whole being intimidated by a strong woman. But that's just me.
I think that can also be... I think that can also be based on insecurities. I mean, we all have it. So certain men have certain insecurities where that woman may be intimidated, or they may be intimidated by her based on not really knowing that girl. I mean, I feel like, especially with social media, everybody has their own outlook on who we are or what we do. I mean, at the end of the day, we're all regular people, right? But just like anybody else would look at you like, oh, she's doing that, she's doing this. A guy is going to look at you the same, and then he's going to look at himself like, would she even want to talk to me? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But there's plenty of guys that they're going to slide into your DM anyways, right? And see what happens.
I think it really
I think it's really based.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, I just think it's based on the insecurity. Like she was saying, weak man, I would say, like, I would exchange that word with insecurity.
Yeah.
And I think it's like I don't know if anyone else can relate to this, but I think it could stem possibly from an abandonment issue. You know, like if this person does X, Y, and Z, they're going to leave me, or they're going to go find someone better than me. And it's not even so much of really that they want to, you know, control you or the circumstances, but it's really just a fear of being left, which can develop from a number of things, you know, and we all have such different experiences, especially as people of color, and we've all faced different traumas and we all process them differently. Right. So I think it's, when you mentioned earlier about, you know, being able to develop our own emotional intelligence and stability to be able to help our men through this process, I think there's so much power in that, because honestly, that's my relationship that I'm in right now. That's really what had to happen. And I didn't even know that that was what was happening. It just kind of organically fell into place, you know, as I was doing the inner work, as I was becoming more in control of my temper and my emotions and my feelings, and really taking a moment to ask myself, why do I feel that way? Or why did this trigger me? Or am I really mad at this? Or am I mad at, you know, am I really feeling angry, or am I feeling insecure? Or am I feeling, you know, jealous, or am I feeling that I haven't healed from being cheated on 5 years ago, or whatever it was, you know? Right. And just being able to articulate those thoughts with my partner has enhanced his communication tremendously, because he sees me really taking a moment to be like, okay, this is what I'm feeling, and I don't know why, and I want to talk this out with you, versus me just popping off, which 2 years ago I would have done. That's and awesome. Then everybody would have been confused and angry. So yeah, so just taking the moment to ask myself, am I angry or am I, and analyzing my own feelings and then talking that out with my partner from a calm place. It's taken a lot of work, but it's really improved my communication with my partner and made him feel like he's an asset to that process,
I agree with that 100%, because let me tell you.
Ladies, I'm gonna get to y'all on the relationships in a sec. I want to get to Toya, you still there?
Yes, I'm here.
I wanted to ask you because just like the question, because these ladies, like y'all doing your thing now as a woman being in the military, and like I've seen your videos, you do a lot of fit stuff. I was wondering, it makes sense because your exercise is so inspiring. That's why I try to share it on the page and try to hope maybe like a woman see it like, oh man, this woman's getting it in. I want to know how is from your experience when it comes to like, do you may intimidate men, not just on the mental end, but maybe on the physical end, and how is your experience been?
That definitely is my experience. A lot of the times because of how long I've been in the military, my rank, and then to go out and be able to lift, somewhat more than them. And it's just, but I mean, at the end of the day, I don't want anyone who's intimidated by me to even come approach me anyway, because that means that you have your own insecurities that I'm not going to be able to fix. So I just, being in a male dominated job and basically in a male dominant industry, because, you have all the little, the petite fitness people, but then you have those women that actually like lift. And so it's just like, so that's a male dominated industry. So I'm around males all the time, but it's just like nobody ever says anything to me on that level. And I don't know what it is. Maybe it's my voice. Maybe my voice is just too deep or something. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but
they're gonna think twice before calling you a B word. They're like, you what? I dare you, nigga. Go ahead. Go ahead, nigga. Three-piece your ass. Go ahead.
I got to chime in on that, Miss ThickFitFitness. It's nothing wrong with you being a strong, independent Black woman, but I think just from hearing you speak is that you would want to start to focus more on your feminine energy, focus more on exuding that femininity, because you are surrounded by a lot of masculine energy. So naturally we will absorb, everything is an exchange. So if you just start to do more feminine things or include them in your daily activities, and it could be something so simple as like wearing lipstick. I don't know if you wear lipstick, but just something simple, or wear red. Red is a very feminine color. It could be the colors you wear, pink, whatever your favorite color is, but just try to incorporate some more feminine aspects, and men will naturally be attracted.
Well, I don't mean to interrupt, but what I was going to say is my motto has always been, and I love that I saw a meme about it, that it's not that I'm intimidating, it's that you're intimidated. I have no responsibility for how you perceive me based on your insecurities or your perceived notion of me, right? Like just saying that, like, it's not my business what you think about me. It's really not, because you made that perception based on, minor observations, an Instagram timeline scroll, whatever. Right. So instead of being focused on how others perceive us, it's what do I attract when I project what I intend? So for you, Miss Thick, like, it's not even, you can be feminine without the gender specific femininity. Like divine femininity is just being aware that you are feminine just because therefore you are, right? So like you can lift 3,000 pounds and still be the most feminine female in the world, because that's your essence, that's your being. And so for dating, like me, I'm 5'9", 215. I lift heavier than most men have been for a while, but I still get picked up at the gym regularly. I'd be like, you can't lift what I'm lifting. You don't serve me no purpose. Cause if you can't spot me, bro, like you can't spot me, bro. Like, so if you're over here all dainty, like, ooh, I'm like, what am I gonna do with that? So, but in regards to dating for you, it's just being confident in it. Don't allow other people's perception of you mess up your confidence, because men ultimately are true men, I talk about omega men beyond the alpha, are attracted to you and your confidence. And that's the kind of man you want, who ain't gonna be caring that, oh, maybe you a strong woman and one of my friends gonna say and blah, blah, blah. I cut those men out quick. Like, if you really care how much other people think about me, I'm not the one for you, friend. Right? Because you I go home with every day. So if you just start exuding confidence and your presence and who you are, you're going to naturally start attracting people who are worthy of that essence. So
I'm going to close this segment out.
Self-talk like I am, and therefore I will be, and they will come, and girl, they'll come. Because I'm hanging up, and I'm like, listen.
Go ahead,
Diana got to step out, so I want her get her saying before she steps out, because she got to leave in a few minutes. So that's all. I ain't mean to cut you off, Tiff. I just wanted her because I know she'll step. Yeah. Go ahead, Diana.
Oh, what? Did you have a question or?
No, I want to get your perspective, or even a perspective where you could go out on. I know you got to step out in a few minutes, so I wanted to give you your chance. You got on and stuff. I want to give you a chance to express yourself from what you heard from the women and everything from your experience before you step off.
I wish I could stay on. Well, I think it's a different thing because I went into dating during the pandemic, which is a whole opening up, right before the pandemic. So you're dealing with like insecurities, getting to know that person, then fast forward to like, okay, you're hanging out with this person all the time and you get to see everything like in like 3 weeks as opposed to 6 months. Which is a lot. You go through like 10 different emotions, as well as just like dealing with their ups, their downs, their insecurities. And so obviously me and this person are no longer together, but I think a lot of it is being open and being available to listen. And I think guys struggle with that a lot because as an independent person, I didn't like date prior to this. I was just like, oh, I'm so busy. Like if it happens, it happens. But I think a lot of times when you tell a guy that, they either are like, well, if you're too busy, then like, why are you like, then they assume that you're cheating or you're doing this. So I would say like to Mikeal, like you have to date someone that is within the industry and that knows like what you're doing and like what you're working on and like, hey, I'm not going to be here, or just communicating. And then on the other side of just not knowing what this other person has been through, like we've all been through things that are either very, very awful or something that we're like, okay, this is going to be in the back of our minds every day. How can we move forward and just kind of call it out and call it as it is? And then on another side of like me just being in weddings, there's so many couples immediately that I see that are just like, oh, I don't know, but I'm just kind of settling. Like women, like don't settle at all. Like if you're not 100%, first of all, don't even put money down on a wedding, but like, just like think of yourselves like so highly and like don't settle and like don't feel that you need to like lower yourself for a man. It's definitely not worth it.
Do you feel like a lot of ladies want that wedding so much that they want to see it through? Even do you feel like these ladies know that it may not work out, but they just want that wedding experience?
I think some people have been in relationships for like 5-7 years, and so I a lot of times I feel like they're like, well, if I've been with that person for so long, like marriage has to be the last thing, or like, hey, like I have a kid with this person, like marriage has to be the last thing. Like just because you have a kid with a person, maybe they're not meant to be married, and just because you've been with this person for 7 years, that may not be your person. Or even if you, just because you say like, hey, I love you, you can always love someone else, but just love them in that moment. So I think a lot of times some women think like, oh, by getting married, it's going to fix a problem that's been festering over years and years and years, but that person isn't going to change necessarily. So yeah.
Ask you one more question before you get off. You said, like, do you stay? It's a double question. Do you still stay in contact with these people once they get married and stuff to see this how their things are going?
Yeah, I've had some couples divorce and figure out that things weren't like happening and like working. And it's
the last thing I want to know is, do you in your head the percentage of women that of marriages that you feel that you've put together and seen are actually genuine, more as just out of insecurity or necessity?
I would say 70% are genuine. For sure, you could. I mean, I feel like you could tell right off the bat if it's genuine, and then it's more so of like, I think you see a lot of it when you're starting to work with the families. So yeah.
Wow.
Diana, thank you. You drop some gems for your you know.
Yeah.
It's like a play, you know. Sometimes you might only got 5 lines, but if you make the most of them 5 damn lines, people gonna remember you. You them lines right there. You know, you was funny. They should have given you some more lines, you know. So, thank you, Diana. Ladies, y'all can say, give her
Thank
message.
Thank you.
Nice meeting you.
Thank you.
Now I want to switch it into. I know this is probably gonna go. What do y'all feel is the biggest issues when it comes to today's relationships?
Can I say?
Go ahead.
I would say it's communication. And I will also say I didn't really feel this way not too long ago. But now that I have a relationship that has communication in it, I've realized how much communicating I wasn't doing with anyone else. So I would definitely say that.
Okay.
She said, communicate.
Yeah. And you know what? And I may have been a part of that problem. You know, it was brought to me by a man that could communicate. So he was just like, your communication's trash. And I'm like, really? Because I think I'm perfect, you know? There's nothing wrong with me.
You found a way when you first said it too. Like, motherfucker, my shit is. I
did. But I also realized as a woman, and this is personally, that maybe sometimes in my past relationships, I wasn't really doing a lot of listening to that man. Not in depth to really hear what he's saying, you know, versus this one, because I feel like I never really dated like an alpha male like him. So he'll slow me down and be like, I'm talking to you. And I'll be like,
what male? You said that kind of fast.
Like a alpha male, like someone who also dominates as much as I would.
Mm-hmm.
Other men, I feel like they don't feel comfortable to communicate with certain women, especially if they feel like you're a strong woman. They might suppress their feelings or things they have to say to you out of like not wanting to hurt your feelings or whatever it is. They never really get their point across or whatever they're trying to communicate to you. And sometimes it could be us too. Like we're just, and we're not listening. So
sometimes
this person really,
so sometimes men go want to communicate because they ain't truthful. So it's like the more you talk, the more you're telling yourself.
Right. But do you think that also applies to the nonverbal communication and just like paying attention to your partner and being tapped in enough to hear what they don't say, you know?
That matters too, because there's just people that communicate differently and you have to understand that. But I would say it's better to communicate or be in a relationship with someone who communicates the way you do. So there's not a lot of guessing there. Because you're trying to learn this person, you're trying to learn how they communicate, blah, blah. The relationship might be over by then, by the time you figure them out. now they're an ex and you guys communicate perfectly because now you guys know each other better. But during the relationship, it sucks.
That's exactly what happened. To me. That's exactly what happened to me. The girl I was with, we did not communicate the same, didn't figure it out till afterward.
Now your best
We're never going to work because we communicate differently, but I didn't figure that out till afterward. Anyone else have a question?
I would say to add to that, communication is definitely like the number one thing, but it's not like that's so easy to say. Like a lot of things are easier said than done. What I really realize is one, a lot of women do not give men grace in regards to this non-judgment understanding. So like there's a difference between what your expectation of like a boundary or personal thing is, and then actually like just listening to somebody. A lot of this comes to, again, like part of my background is in sex therapy. Like a lot of women shut down if your man was really tell you what their weirdest fantasy is, right? Because like you see that as like, now that woman you're describing in your fantasy is the opposite of me. And now I see that as insecurity. And now we have a problem. Like, instead of just giving him that space to be like, well, you asked me and I want to be able to be honest. So having that space, it's not just communicating, but for most relationships is giving the space to be honest. And so when I work with couples or individuals who have like, you know, trauma from previous relationships, it's like unpacking the, like, have you given a space for someone to be honest? And are you honest? A lot of people aren't honest with their partners as well. We think we're protecting people, but then that's when you become jaded or scared. Like, well, I know I'm not being fully honest, so I expect they're not being, and a lot of projecting happens. So you might be communicating, but it's what you're communicating. So one of the best boundaries I've set and what I like to role model to others is I don't lie, and I try not to. Like, we as humans do. It happens. Like, we think we're protecting people or we're just afraid of consequences. It's a natural human response to lie. But I really tell people, like, I try not to lie, but I reserve the right to change. Change my mind, learn new information, come to a new conclusion. So it's not that I lied to you, but I reserve the right to change my mind or my perspective. Why, as humans, we're supposed to. I'm supposed to grow, get new information or whatever. And so my commitment to my partners is that I will communicate the change. Right?
Man.
And that we create an environment where we agree to that. That's the commitment. Like, okay, this might be the rules today. This is what we're committing to, but like, maybe I'm gonna change or grow, or maybe I do start having a different kind of, you know, I used to like red shoes. Now I hate them. Now I'm only gonna wear black, you know, like I'm gonna communicate that to you. And that's like the environment that I really see is not happening in relationships. We're not giving each other grace to change. Our society is acting like change is a bad thing. Like, oh, you got money, you change. Well, I'm supposed to. I have money, I didn't used to, you know, like, hello, I should invest differently. I should make different choices. Hello. You know, so we've acted like change is a bad thing, but that's human nature. We're supposed to, and giving each other this space to be empathetic and non-judgmental so we feel safe. A lot of our relationship isn't as comfortable and as safe as we'd like to think they are. And that's why we're not able to be as emotionally connected and intimate as we'd like to be.
Yeah. I like that. I was going to say that I like that she said that, especially about projection. That I feel like that happens in a lot of relationships because we're all coming from different places and you can't deal with that person the way you dealt with someone else. But even like with gender roles, our whole life is fluid and continuous. So to get with someone and then 2 years later think you're with the same person is crazy. You're supposed to grow with that person. And, right. Change together, grow together. But sometimes there's one person there that's not trying to do any self-work with themselves. They're trying to stay in the same place. So then you outgrow the person that you're with because they have these gender role identities like, oh, you should be like this or you should do that. But we're in 2021. There's so many differences going on. I mean, women don't just cook. Women just don't clean. You know, men should do it. Everything should be together like a team. It shouldn't be like, that's not what I do. That's you. Because that's what keeps you in that situation and you don't grow.
Brittany, you just said something too about growing people, because I've been out here, like I said, 10 years, and I've known people, even back in the East Coast, I've known girls that have been in like 8-9 year relationships and maybe dated somebody once in between when they broke up a little, and then the guy had holes through the whole relationship, and girls that want to hold on to it because of the history, and you talking about how people grow and shit. I was like, sometimes, and it ain't just the man, sometimes it's the woman that may not grow, and people just holding on to the history but not the growth. They just like, well, I've been together, he was 18, he was my first, we got 2 kids, I just feel like it's meant to be, but he's still the same person he was at 20, and now you're both 30 and you're still holding on to way back then. And then I've heard so many women say, well, I just wonder how it used to be. Well, you grown since then, and sometimes men and women, we might not been our genuine selves to begin with, because a lot of times people say, "Oh, she changed," but they don't be
in the beginning.
Change. They just revealed them who they really were, but that comes with society, because a lot of times, because women, y'all have the control, and I say this a lot, like, if a lot of women don't receive a real authentic guy right away. Maybe when she getting more in tune with herself, like maybe you ladies, but in general, I'm just speaking in like as a whole, a guy who's just like hit raw and honest, it don't always connect. A lot of times they feed to the bullshit and feed to the energy and the swag and all the other stuff. So, you know, when we attract
the facade.
We'll ignore the red flags. And men and women, we show the red flags right away. I tell lady friends that all the time. I was like, men tell the red flags right away, just the way he approached you. But if you looking at the nigga and he look good, and he talking right, he looking fly, you might ignore the shit. And then you might ignore them other little red flags, but then they start building up. And then you're 6 months, a year to the motherfucker, and the shit that you saw from the very first day, you ignored. And now it's like, well, I don't. And then it's like, it's his fault, which it is. But at the same time, and which I wanted to talk about, women and accountability. And one thing I love hearing the ladies y'all talked about right now is the fact that y'all mentioning what y'all could do wrong, the accountability and things like that, which is why I was particular about bringing women on, because accountability is like kryptonite to most women.
Absolutely.
I've been blocked so many times telling a woman to take accountability on the shit she done.
I think it takes a really emotionally evolved person to be accountable, because in order to be accountable, you have to actually want to grow and you have to want to be your best self. And so, like, for me, one thing that I realized I was doing and why I was having these like detrimental relationship patterns was because I was rushing into things so quickly and just like not even really giving myself a chance to get to know the person and see, is this a person I could be friends with? Is this a person I could grow with? Is this a person I could, and just asking those hard questions, you know, and finding out like, where does this person come from? What is their relationship like with their mother? What was their relationship like with their dad? Did that play a role in who they are now? Are they seeking active counseling and therapy, whether it's self-help or through are they actively working through these traumas, and do those traumas conflict and coincide with my traumas in a way that's going to be toxic, or do they meet in a place where we can support and understand each other and grow together? And for me, like, I found myself just rushing into things too fast. And I think in a place like LA, like you said, where everybody's beautiful, everybody's handsome, everyone's attractive, sometimes we have these moments where we feel like we're falling in love every time we meet somebody. And it's not that, it's just that, you know, it is a facade. And I don't even think facades are intentional. Most times we're just, you know, nobody's their 100% self all the time.
People put on facades to want to look a certain way, but then want people to accept them for them. It's like, how you want somebody to accept you for you, but you're not even yourself.
But do you think that there's a difference between putting on a facade and censorship, or do you think that they're the same thing?
No, I think it's the difference. Like, censorship is you trying to just, you know, you might not want to stir up the energy or like offend, you know, so you want to censor yourself. Put on a facade is like being someone you're not.
Yeah, I hear you. And I think the lines can get blurred on that.
I stay away from people who out here I meet that say you got to fake it till you make it. I don't want to be around somebody that got to fake it till you make it. That means you're going to be fake around me. I'm a person that always say when I moved out here, I'm going to keep it real till I land my deal. And that can be corny to some people, but so what? I don't care. Because the right people, like with this right here, like you ladies are all on here. I didn't know who's going to come on. I just know, like, before my shit cut off earlier, you know, that the universe was like going to allow me, spoke to me. I was like, who should I bring on, Lord? Who I bring on? I'm just like, let me see what they say. I didn't know who's going to be on. I thought it was going to be like 2 people, you know, but, you know, no offense, but women, y'all can be flaky. So it's like, I looked at it, I was like, all right, this is business. This is business.
Yeah,
like,
numerous times
on business.
I said it's happened numerous times. Like when JT told me, he's like, "Yeah, we're gonna have 8 women on Sunday." I was like, "Why would you ask 8 women? Why 8?
Yeah, you got on me.
Why not 3?" But I'm glad all of you guys are here because this is
I mean,
but Carver, what did I say?
Black women, just the same as Black men, we've been through a lot. You know, we're still going through a lot, and we're all just processing our traumas the best way we know how. And I think it's so important that we have these sort of conversations, and we definitely have to have more of them because we're all, Black is so broad. You know what I mean? Like, what is Black anymore anyway? Like, we're all coming from such different places, perspectives, upbringings, cultural experiences with racism, experiences with colorism, just so many different layers to what it means to even just be a person of color, and trying to sort that out within yourself is a battle all in itself, let alone trying to sort it out with another traumatized person. So we have to have that grace and that patience with each other, and not saying that means that we should tolerate any sort of abuse or anything that diminishes who we are as people or makes us feel discarded or disregarded. But at the same time, I think that that these sort of conversations are important, and not only here, but with our friends, with our coworkers, with the people that we are pursuing relationships with, and really just taking the time to allow ourselves to really get to know people and to do that from a place of non-judgment. But it's hard when you rush into bed with somebody and then all of a sudden you have all these expectations, and it's like, you don't know the person enough to even expect that, you know? So
But
I think there's also not enough.
Go ahead. Britt.
I was just commenting that I feel that there's also not enough real conversations happening during that supposed dating period. And also that it takes time to really know somebody anyways. So, I mean, there could be the facade and then there's your representative that you give everybody, you know? You're not just going to go in deep with everyone you date. They're going to have to pass a certain probation period to get to different levels of you.
For sure.
That's why you
have to be able to trust that it's safe.
And that's why I'm different, because I'm like, I'm letting you see who I am right now, because, you know, a lot of ladies have told me, like, you give too much of yourself right away. I was like, well, I have to, because at the end of the day, women have the control, because I could vibe with her all day. We could be vibing for the moment she decides, he ain't what I like. Guess what? All conversation's done. So why would I sit here and spend 3 months trying to get to know you, which I'm still trying to, and then you finally learn something that might turn you off or some shit, and then we just spend this time talking when I'm going to just put it out in front, like, hey, this is my boom. But a lot of men we don't do that, because one's a lot ain't honest, and sometimes a lot of women don't accept that honesty like they think. They'll respect it, but respect ain't getting pussy.
I think you have to just find the person that, when you meet the person that does accept your honesty, then you'll know you're in the right place, you know?
And I'm speaking for men, not particularly me. Like, men, we talk all the time. Men don't be honest. We'll give her enough honesty to let me think that everything we're saying is honest, but we're not completely honest. Because if a man was completely honest with a woman, she ain't fucking him. She might date him, but that also is on where she's at in her space.
Yeah.
Well, I would say. Oh, sorry. Someone else talking?
No, go ahead, Tiff.
Okay. Well, I think the danger here is that, like, and I hear and what you're saying, JT, and I hear it a lot, is that we haven't, like, as a society, accepted that rejection is not necessarily a reflection of the other person. And like, we need to take those, like, oh, you're not for me, or that was a red flag or whatever, not as an actual attack on me as a person, but like, that's just not a right fit. So when a woman, if you did go on a few dates and someone comes up and she's like, oh, that's not for me, well, then that wasn't for both of you. Like, instead of taking it as a personal rejection, be like, cool, thanks for saving my time, on to the next one, right? So it's not that, like, oh, I can't be honest or I can't whatever. No, like, something came out that was a deal breaker for that person, which would have been an issue down the line, saving us both the headache. So we as a society haven't actually taught each other how to appropriately interact when it comes to dating and having a relationship with each other. Like, the fact that you say, like, a lot of men are like, oh yeah, if we be honest, like, then we won't get anything. No, it's just like, you need to understand that in that process, a woman does have the right to be like, okay, that's not for me. And so does the man, you guys as well too. Like, if you're in like 3-4 days, you're like, wait, what'd you say? Oh yeah, that's one of my deal breakers. I'm out of here. Well, you saved us both time. Why we need to keep going forward? So for me, like, I like I said, I'm authentic, I'm transparent. Like, I just keep it super real. I set my boundaries right away. And I say, I have all the difficult conversations. Date one, do you want to have kids? No.
Yes.
What's your 5-year plan? How you identify sexually or don't, or you're not aware, like, you know, and what's your baggage? I just say it, like, I'm in recovery, you know, I'm divorced, like, this is where I'm at. Because if that scares you on date one, it's going to scare you on date 5, 10, year one. It doesn't matter how long we're together. If certain things scare you,
you're either ready or you're not.
Right? So I just be like,
the illusions come in. That's why people want the illusions. People don't want to they don't want to ask those questions, because when you're attracted to somebody, especially sexually or whatever, you know, last thing you want them to do is to say something to fuck up the giving them some.
Well, that's
so it's like,
but then be aware what your intention is. If your only intention is wanting to have sex, then you're going to stay and do what you want to have sex, right? That's human nature. You're going to do what you want to get the end result. But if you actually want intimate relationship with a human, then if you want intimate relationship, you need to be intimate, right? You have to put out what you want to receive. That's kind of just the law of attraction, the law of energy. Like, you need to put out what you want to receive. And that's why, like, ThickFit even, girl, once you start owning it, boom, it's going to come. So don't be afraid of those, oh, I'm too strong. And like, yeah, you're in a male dominant industry. That's fine. Shit on them. Cause that one man who's like, that shit is so goddamn sexy. Get over here.
Love the fuck out of you.
He gonna be like, oh, you strong. Let me show you I'm strong too. Like it's gonna happen. It's gonna
show who's stronger.
But again, we're so obsessed with this whole vibe thing. There's a huge difference between intimacy and initial like infatuation.
That vibe shit is so
Some people who are charismatic, I have a certain energy. I boom feminine, just sexuality, like just this whole, and it's a situation, right? People who identify straight normally be like, girl, you just like, I'm aware of it. It's just who I am as a person, right? But I like be aware of that, right? So like, because I exude it, I attract it. But you have to be the same thing. If you really just only trying to smash, that's all you're going to attract is other people just trying to smash. And
Just tell me if
like,
you
why can't I get a relationship? Because that's not your true intention. You have to be very.
I got a question for
yourself.
Mikeal, I got a question for Mikeal because I wanted her on particular for a reason, which, because we all want to get married, in theory, sometimes I guess some of us come to a point where we're like, fuck it. But growing up, most of us, and some of us still want to. And Mikeal, I know her and her husband personally. And like I was telling you the other day, I'm thankful I got the pleasure to see them first get together from day one. I think it was a video shoot I asked her to come to. I was doing a video shoot for her, and Mikeal came out. I don't know if that was they just started vibing. I think they were just friends at the time, but they slow rolled the relationship, which I don't see a lot of people slow roll, and they slow rolled the relationship. It seemed like they were friends, and it's like they built off of that, and the love was just always, and the respect for them two were always there. And there's so many women that don't be wanting to love their friends. They want to fuck on a nigga and then make him his friend. And then it's like that don't happen. He already has a pussy. He might not want to be your friend now. But you've seen this, and I've seen her Mikeal and her and Lee get together. I supported events. They supported my events and stuff like that. And it's been a joy to see. And it's been inspiring to see. I'm still mad I didn't get to go to the wedding, but I love you anyway. I'm gonna throw that in there too.
There's a video on my page if you want to see it.
Oh,
fuck that video. Fuck that damn video.
Go ahead and ask the question, JT. Ask the question.
So my question is, because some lot of ladies what was the process like, and what advice could you give to ladies who could be seeking that stability? Because you're having a beautiful relationship. I love it. So what can you say from the journey to where you're at now?
I would ultimately say to be open. And when I say that, is like to be open for change, for growth, to understand the other person, whether you like it or not. Going back to what you guys were saying before, being honest, being truthful. A relationship is not all peaches and cream, as we all know, and there's some hard truth in it. And sometimes you're going to have those difficult conversations where they're going to say something that you don't like, but you have to accept it. It's not for you to tell them that they shouldn't feel that way, because that's how they feel, but it's for you to understand and grow from that and figure out how you can not make them feel that way anymore. Like, at least intentionally. Right. So for me personally, I actually learned a lot from him. He's 6 years older than me. I learned a lot from him in terms of being able to communicate even better. Because again, I thought I was excellent at communication, and apparently I just was trash according to him. But I was good though. But he taught me how to be calm. He taught me how to use my words. Because one thing about me as a Gemini, I'm cool, and then that 10 takes off, right? So when that 10 took off, I was saying a bunch of stuff, and one thing, I'm lethal with my mouth, and I had to realize that that's not okay, because there's things that I said that really affected him, or even like friendships that I had to learn each person that I was dealing with. I had to learn him and genuinely learn him. Again, we had our issues and stuff, but we worked through it, but it's because we wanted to work through it. And the biggest thing that we had to identify was things that we were dealing with on our own individually, right? So, for me, my insecurity was, being afraid of being cheated on. If, any of his past insecurities, I had to help him identify those things. And once we identified what those things were, we're like, okay, what do we do? Okay, either you go get help, you deal with it, or you forgive it. Like, but at some point you're going to have to get rid of it because it's affecting us now. So that took a very, very long time. You never 100% know your partner. You may know them a lot, but because growth is continuously changing, you always have to relearn your partner. So this 8 years, going on 9 years, has been a journey of relearning, but it's great because I want to be here. He wants to be here. So we're open for that. And so that's one reason why I say open for change. You know, a lot of us, men and women, are good for being like, oh, well, this is just who I am. You have to accept it. No, that's not just who you are, because who you are, it hasn't gotten you anywhere, clearly, you know, so you have to be willing to adapt to changes and learn from your different experiences. So the biggest thing that has worked for us is honestly just being able to sit down and just talk to one another. And I'm talking about ugly truth. Like, you'd be like, oh, like any other day, oh my God, that hurts. Like, or you'd be ready to fight, but that person's entitled to how they feel, you know? So, and you're never going to be able to understand if they don't tell you the nitty gritty, if they're always sugarcoating stuff. You get sugarcoat, you always going to get shit, period. You know what I mean? But if you can get the problem out in front of you and then deal with it, whether you like it or not, then you're good. So, that's kind of been our journey. It's just been a constant, you know, learning curve. And I've learned a lot from him. I'm going to be all the way honest, because I'm a firecracker. And I'm not gonna lie, I needed somebody who would be able to check my ass, you know, and not saying like check your partner like, bitch, you did it. Because no, don't disrespect your partner, but let them know the place, hold them accountable. And that's another thing, is the self-accountability, being able to hold each other accountable, that a lot of people are unable to do. So that, again, those are my biggest things, is just being open, you know, in your relationship to learn, to grow, to change, not change who you are, but the change going into the growth.
So much for that.
I must be the devil's advocate, because I truly feel that it's the man that keeps the relationship either there or going, because there could be plenty. I mean, well, it's easy for guys to have a bunch of women, right? And they'll all be there waiting for him, giving him everything, communication, love, care, whatever he wants. But he chooses who he wants to be with and who he will stay with. And that girl has to maintain that at that time. But it's like, if a guy don't want to talk to you or he don't want to be with you, you could be everything and it's not going to work out. He won't stay.
Well, I think
so. I really feel like
the one common mistake that most women make is, and it sounds really messed up, but we don't listen. And the reason why I say we don't listen is because one will tell you exactly what he wants, and he'll tell you exactly what it is. But us, we're like, oh, we can change him. Well, he'll change. He loves me, right? You can't change anybody who doesn't want to change. And from day one.
Why do they feel that? Why do women feel that, Mikeal? Why do so many women feel that way? Because I hear that even in the documentary, it's all about that. Go ahead.
I think that a lot of, you know, for me personally, I think that a lot of it kind of comes from a place of love, a place of confidence, let's be totally honest. I was that girl who's like, I could change him. You know what I mean? Like, you know what type of person you are, but you may not be the person for that man, you know, but he's also told you in the beginning, like they will tell you straight. I have a friend that literally, he's like, I don't want this. She's like, oh, okay, well, maybe he'll change. Like, I know it later. He would, no. He just told you exactly what it is, you know? So a man means what he says, period. And I think
that's some ego shit right there. I really think that's some ego shit, because you feel like your pussy is that good, your love is that good, your mind is that amazing, that this nigga who have all the holes in the world is going to just stop and say, damn, I love the way she think. I love the way she ride me. And I'm just going to stop.
Well, one day the man does get like that. I think everybody, men and women, have their ways and they can talk to whoever they want. And then whenever it's good for you or whenever it's right for you to want to give yourself to some person, one person that you prefer, then that's what happens. And you listen to yourself. But if you're not ready, it's just not going to happen.
Yeah, no, I'm going to tell you.
And that's either gender.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be totally honest, and this is just through some of my closest men, friends, and even my husband. Like, men know what they want. They know when you are the right person, period. They know within minutes if you are the person for them. But again, we'll be so into it. We're like, oh God, he'll change. Oh, well, we're gonna work out. Men know, like, this is how, and don't quote me, but just is from just seeing some of my friends, where they'll be like in relationships 8 to 10 years and haven't even received a ring yet. You have now made this man extremely comfortable and content with this situation, because he pretty much told you a long time ago he didn't want it more. You know, so we have to listen from the beginning. Like, they will tell us legit what they want. So I'll be honest, like with my husband, it was funny because we ended up in a place that we both weren't supposed to be. I wasn't looking to date anybody, but also I wasn't going to be that person who was like, I don't want to date, so I'm not going to talk to anybody. I'm like, I'm open. Let's see where this goes. You know what I mean? I no longer wanted to be my own enemy, essentially, and block my own blessings. But he knew, he was like, I knew that at this age, I wanted a woman who wanted kids, who wanted to get married. I knew what I wanted. I have already been on tour. I've done this, that, and the third. I don't want that no more. You know, and I think at a certain age, people do get to that point where they know what they want, and that's what you start aiming for, right?
Some women get intimidated by a man like that, though, Mikeal. You could be like, they'd be like, I don't even know you like that. Well, just because you don't know me, don't mean I don't know myself to know that I like you. So because you don't know me enough, you can't be sure.
Because we don't believe nothing. We be like, okay.
That's not the man's issue, though. So if he realizes that this is what the woman's doing, then he needs to move along, because that's now her issue, and that's something that she needs to deal with. So if you've had
sometimes a man can be patient too, though, because just like a woman with patience, she might think like, man, if she just understand how amazing of a man I am, she'll be like,
that's projection.
That's on you to stay in it.
You saying like, oh, she's not ready. Like, again, just because someone says that thing you're presenting isn't the thing for me, again, that ain't got nothing to do with you. Move on to the next person. Like, if people just learn how to receive that better and keep moving, that like animosity, you feel like, oh, some women just ain't ready for a man who got it together. No, that woman, that particular one, move on to the next one until you find the one that is for you. You know what I'm saying? Also, I'm putting a wrench out here. I'm so sorry, just because, like, just in case someone's watching and they're like, wait a minute. Marriage is not the Super Bowl for everybody. That's not and I'll be off for everybody. And not everybody's goal is a monogamous relationship.
Correct.
You know, what I teach is consensual. Like, there's a huge difference between genuinely like polyandry and polygyny, like polygamous relationships, polyamorous relationships, and cheating. If everybody is not consensual, you're just a cheater. But for some people, like, that one-on-one is not the only end all be all, but you definitely should learn how to communicate honestly, respectfully, and find someone like-minded like you. There's a lot of people out here doing a lot of damage, cheating, because they're like, oh, I'm polygamous. No, you're just a cheater. You leave lies. If you can't do what you do honestly, then you're just a cheater. You're a deceiver, mischievous. And so just for someone who's watching might be like, wait a minute, this ain't even, this whole conversation ain't for me. Our relationships need to lead in honesty and communication and consent. You know, like, if you do think you're polygamous, then you need to find other polygamous, like-minded people.
Yeah, it doesn't make you like, everyone has their own goals. My goal, my whole life, was to be married. You know, there's people whose goals are not to be married, and that's fine. There's no bad answer, but just making sure that you're connecting with the people who have the same goals as you. I'm not mad if you want to go do your thing with 3 other people, whatever, but that's your shit. Just as long as you have an agreement with those people and the person that you connected with understands that. So, I mean, again, go ahead.
Okay. Well,
I have a quick question.
Go ahead.
For the guys.
Yes, that's
so, and this is kind of in regards to ThickFitFitness as well. So I know, like, when guys find girls attractive, right, there's this like dance thing that you do, whether it's like eye contact and you see how she reacts to that, or whatever the case may be. My question to you is, what is it that you look for when you're trying to talk to a girl, or you're trying to meet her? You guys never met, you just see her. Like, what is that engagement like? Because and is there something that you see when women are not giving it back? You know what I mean?
It's the I think, is it Mikeal? That's how you said it?
Mikeal, yeah.
Mikeal brought it up. It's that openness, right? So a lot of women have been told, like, oh, don't make yourself too easy, you know, don't come on too strong, yada, yada. No, like, if I come up to you and I say something, I make a joke, or like I ask, like, hey, you want to hang out? Like, I'm looking for an openness, a willing to be like, okay, like he's kind of funny, like he's kind of cute. Yeah, like yeah, I'll go ahead and try out. If you play that game too long of like, no, I'm too busy, or no, like you're not that cute. If you play that too long, like my attention span is not that long, girl. Like I will dip to the next. So for me, it's like on that first interaction, it's that openness. Also
it's
just
a response back and conversation.
And, you know, I'm really big on someone who's intelligent and has a sense of humor and can give me something, right? Because again, I don't want to, I love to hear myself talk, I guess, but I don't want to be the only person talking. I can't do that. I will get bored. Again, I'm gone. So in that first interaction, I'm looking for somebody who can listen to what I'm saying and then add on to it. So then I can then say something back. So it's that back and forth. I get the whole alpha male thing. Like, yes, that's definitely a part of my personality, but it's a partnership at the end of the day. So that's what I'm looking for a back and forth in that first interaction.
Okay. And that is to initiate whether like you're going to see this person further or not, right? Like the official exchange of numbers. Because I'm just wondering, because sometimes like, it seems like that a guy comes to you, even just talking to you, blah, 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 but there's no exchange of numbers. Like maybe he doesn't.
You got Instagram and Facebook these days. You don't need a number now.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Sometimes.
Well, what if you leave with none of that? Nothing was like.
I'll tell you what. There was an interaction I had last summer. I was on a modeling shoot. The assistant there, she was super cute, super cool. Kind of hit it off, but not too much was said, and I just kind of sat on it for a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go look for her Instagram, but I do want to talk to her again. And what happened was the photographer posted my picture and the assistant got tagged into it. So I took that as an opportunity to then just DM her and be like, hey, I really mess with your vibe. I understand, like, pandemic, you don't want to talk to anyone. I get it. But I just want to get to know you more. Like, are you willing to hang out? And I just, took it from there. So I walked away with no contact information, nothing to really go on. But when I saw an opportunity, I took it. You know what I'm saying?
I was just wondering also in regards, like I said, to ThickFit, because I know that when there's that initial interaction between the opposite sex, there's certain things that you guys look for. And that's not something all women know. Because sometimes we have this energy or aura like, oh, I don't want to be bothered with today. It doesn't mean that we don't want to be talked to though. So then you just pass her up. And
yep, that's very true.
So I was just wondering.
Yeah, it's definitely.
Oh, I see, girl. I could tell girl already like, and then if I want to say something, I might not say nothing or just compliment. I do a lot of I've always complimented, but these days I just really just compliment because a lot of women don't get compliments these days, even from the dudes they fucking or whatever. So
it's true. Yeah, it's true.
And it's so bad to the point where I could be dating a girl and we just fucking, and I'll compliment her. She'll be like, you already got the pussy already, and I'm like, what is that gonna do if your eyes are still pretty? So your eyes ain't pretty no more because I got
Mikeal.
What? I'm like, what kind of women are you dealing with? My God,
it's all the time. I'm like, I don't know, understand how you have these stories, bro. Like,
I'm convinced at this point it's James.
It's James.
I say this every show.
He's putting out the I want to smash energy.
No, I get put up that I have to smash to keep her attention. Because girl ain't rocking with me just because I'm a nice guy and I got a career and shit like that. No, I gotta flirt a little. I gotta throw a little freaky shit out there because sometimes I can look at like
James slick.
Yeah. Even the nice girl.
He's slick.
I know you know me.
He's slick. I've had to check him multiple times. Like, bruh.
But you talking about that was years ago though. Like I'm talking about right now. We talking about right now.
I just don't know how much you've changed.
That's cool.
Jazzy's back.
He changed a little bit. He changed a little bit in the last year.
Oh, good.
In the last year that I've known him, I've seen some growth.
Sure. Okay. I'm glad Mikeal said that though. I'm glad she said that because I've met people, I've ran into people that I've known over the years, and I've known and one thing I've learned, when people have a certain perception of you, no matter how fucking much you might have grown as a person, people still stick that perception of you because sometimes people just don't think people could grow. And I had to learn to be like, I don't got time for them people. That's why I don't have too many people in my life that I knew from back then, early, because I've been here 10 years now. So ain't too many people I still talk to from years ago to now, because people still have that perception. And I just allow people to make their little comments and stuff like that. That's why you can talk your shit. I don't care. You don't know me, woman. But it's cool.
Oh my God.
I got love for Mikeal because she does know me and she's seen my fucked up ways. So I get where she's coming from. You know, but
I'm not saying that you're a bad man today. I was just saying. I just want to remind you.
I wasn't a bad man.
Where you came from.
Right, you gotta remember.
Right.
Yeah. So you know, but you know, people, like I said, people grow up. I'm 36 now. Like, what the fuck? Am I going to be the same motherfucker when I was 29? You remember when I was 28, 27. So if I'm still the same motherfucker at 27 that I am at 36, then yeah, curse me the fuck out and get on me. I feel it. But
you know what?
You'll be surprised though. There's a lot of people who don't actually grow until like way later than that, you know? So it's like, I hear you when you're like, oh, I'm 36, I should change. Yeah, you should. But there's a lot of people who don't. So
you got to think like this, Mikeal. I always try to, even though I didn't have it all figured out, I always try to learn, because a lot of mistakes I've always made were just honest mistakes. It wasn't like, oh, I'm fucking up and I'm going to do it anyway. Like even the business stuff, everything, it was just honest. I didn't have guidance. I didn't have a mentor. So I just try to, I'm learning on the fly. So I made a lot of decisions that I thought were right decisions, and some hit, some didn't. Some failed miserably, some success amazingly. But I could live with that because I'm one that was willing to take a chance and fail. I'd rather take a chance and fail to not give it a chance at all. And some of them don't take that chance. So people can shit on me for failing. People can shit on me for failing.
Who shit on you for failing? Who needs to fight? Who is
no, not you, girl. You good.
No, I wasn't saying me. I had your back. I was like, who is shitting?
No, you do. That's why you on this damn podcast right now. You think I would ask you to be on this motherfucker if I fuck with you? Hey, Mikeal, I just want you on here. I know you're gonna talk shit about me, but can you get on the podcast? No, I love you, girl. I learned so much from you. That's why I still call you. That's why I always try to show you the love through the little thing, through a post, through a share, to let you know, like, hey, even though we don't talk like that, you are valuable to what I've learned about myself out here in LA. So, and a lot of men, and that's what comes to a lot of men, like, and I give Cairo props too. That's why I love having him on the podcast. You know, we don't always see eye to eye. We talk our shit, but it's out of fun. But Cairo is mature. He's young, but he's more mature than guys my age. And it's like, you know, and it's like, but Cairo, you know, not just by he's raised by both his parents, but also they still valued him to where it matters. It does matter. It really does matter.
His go-to though, he's like, you know, Cairo's respectable,
right?
He's got both parents. I'm like,
he's putting you up here. You're on a pedestal.
Black parents too, strong back, loving, supportive parents too. That makes a difference.
Yeah. It's just funny. That's always your go-to.
Because ain't too many brothers. There's a lot of brothers who don't got both their parents, and you see how it plays out. I don't mean every brother who's raised by their mom is fucked up or don't get it together. But when you have a strong father figure and a strong mother figure that's instilling values in you, not just giving you money and saying, hey, this is life, instilling values and morals in you, you're gonna turn out some kind of way. You're gonna turn out.
You get that relationship advice or that mentorship from a man that most men don't get. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm not gonna say all, because there's some 2-parent households where the father takes a back seat, especially when he has a boy, you know? So I'm not going to say that it's across the board, but it's good to have if your father does, you know, and he cares about how you're growing, what you're going to do, what's your career, you know, that matters.
Yeah, and it's all about how being a father too.
Back seat.
It's always about how
take that back.
Men, how they do as a father. Like I tell women, like, if a man's not taking care of his kids, what makes you think he's going to take care of you? You know, and I have a 6-month-old, and it's been the
James
most
eating.
When I'm eating nothing. No, but my 6-month-old son though has been the best thing that's ever happened to me. Like I like even now I was talking to you, I'm sitting there thinking about, man, I just want to, because he's just so happy and he just smiley all the time, and it changes you. Like I'd be sad, and then I just see him and he just looks at me with so much admiration. That's a different feeling right there. Especially when you're not used to having love, and you got this baby that just looks at you with so much joy, because they don't know you. They don't know your flaws. They don't know the shit you've done. All they see is their daddy's around. He looks at me like it's his superhero, and that's the best feeling in the world. So I care less about anybody, what anybody got to say or love these days. I would love to settle down and shit like that, but I don't really care. You know, it takes a lot to get me.
Don't put that energy out there.
I was gonna say, listen, I tell people this all the time. I don't care how many people say, I don't need to be in a relationship. Nobody wants to die alone. So
of course, I would love to be with somebody right now, but I'm a lot to get.
But everyone cares.
I'm a lot to get. Only
There's someone out there for everyone. There's someone perfect for you that knows how to deal with you and everything. But also, if you have up walls, which it seems like you have a few, you won't allow that person to get there.
Walls, things that can be fixed, change.
Yeah, but you can't be vulnerable with everybody. Everybody's ain't gonna receive your vulnerability.
But you just said that you honest with everyone you meet right off the bat. I'm a believer of honesty in a dosage, especially when you don't know somebody. But you say you put it all out there.
And that's
I used to. No, I don't put it out there.
Now you saying, okay,
JT, that's the point I wanted to say earlier. You're like, yeah, I'm honest up front. I put it there, but honesty with the doshes, because I'm the same way. I'm very honest. I don't lie on any of the dates I go on.
Right.
But I also don't drop all the trauma and the things I've done on the first.
There's no need for
that. I don't talk. Yeah, I was some of the trauma and shit.
Pass that probationary period first, then we'll talk.
My life. No, I ain't got time for probation period. I got a fucking podcast, life to live, relationships to maintain, business shit. Look, this is my life. You fucking with me or what's up?
If it goes too fast, it's gonna end fast, and that's period. If it takes time to grow something, that's worth it. And if it's not, it'll be gone.
It's like a talk, like we talk. I'm not as open about a lot of shit these days, except my son and what I got going on. But before, hell yeah, I used to tell it all, and it had its moments. But most times, nobody want to hear that shit. So I had to learn that.
People you dealing with, but stop dealing with them.
Or maybe you should just take your time in what you say, because they may not be ready for it.
Like I
Michael knows my ex-girlfriend, so that's why she's talking this shit.
JT, what do I tell you on every show? Take care of yourself, King. Just take care of yourself. And you start working on yourself, and I guarantee you that right one will come when you leave.
Yeah, you definitely can't love nobody else if you can't love yourself first, period.
You know what I'm saying?
We're gonna wrap this up too. I know ThickFit over here, Miss Toya. I know she been quiet. I know Jazzy come in. I want to know if they have anything to say before we wrap it up to the end. Because we got these lovely ladies empowering. I've been dropping some jewels and stuff, and I'm loving it.
They got things to do on a Sunday.
Jazzy, what's up?
What's up? Here all day.
What you get from? How you doing? Welcome. What you taking from? Because you've been on this show about a good 15 minutes now. What you taking from this conversation? What can you add to it?
Well, I just heard the guys part. I guess I missed all.
Oh, you missed all the women gyms? Oh man.
Yeah. I was driving and stuff.
I'm in a motherfucking car right now, but you can't tell by this background.
I have a question for Jazzy.
Yeah. I would like. We can tell.
I have a question for Jazzy. What do you think is the most important thing to either do with your partner or to put a certain structure in your relationship with your partner? What do you think is the most important?
Raw honesty. I think that's important. Like what she was saying earlier about the poly stuff and people saying that they're poly and they're really just talking to a bunch of people. Right. They're really just cheaters and just nobody's really honest anymore. So it's that to me is somebody that can just tell you straight up what it is. You can have just raw conversation. That's important to me. If you can't have that, it's communication and honesty. That's right. The rest of it, I think, will fall into place if you have those two things. Everything else will work out.
Listening, communicate. You can't communicate if you don't listen, and it goes both ways. Men don't listen.
That's right.
The women don't listen. But I feel like if women listen more, because men we driven by women. We're going to realize now, careers, things like that. We think about if I had my queen, what do I want to present to her as what I'm doing as my career, or whatever it is. Even it's the street life, we all do things to present something towards the woman. And it's so, and I it's a lot of women go for street dudes or like that, just in theory. A lot of guys act like that because they feel that's what women want. But if women were like, let's just say more women were like, I'm only going for guys who getting college degrees or things like that respect their queens and stuff. There's gonna be more guys going to Guild School and going to respect queens more. But the women that be giving the guys the attention be the ones that don't be, I guess, always practicing what they preach, because they'll say this one thing but entertain someone else that is not like what she just said she wanted. And that could cause friction to like men feeling like, well, I can't be myself, or, you know.
What if she knows what she wants and she's not ready for it? Maybe she wants the college man, whatever, but she's playing with the street dudes. She in the street.
And I'm glad you, because I'm going to close on this. Women are giving
for the streets, right?
No, that's what I want to talk about too at the end of this. I'm glad you said that. Women giving chances to guys after they over the hill.
I'm dead. What do you mean by that? Like an age? What are you saying?
Yo, what is that?
Meaning, after you've been damaged, after you've dropped a few kids, you gained a few pounds, been divorced, been damaged mentally, emotionally, whatever. That guy that's been trying to get with you for 5-6 years, now you want to give him the good.
So work cars. Got it.
Damaged goods, shit like that. That is some disrespectful shit. But so many women do it. The most quality of woman, it don't matter. She's educated. She's from the streets. It don't matter. A lot of women do that shit. When they over the hill, they don't. They ain't pulling. They still pulling, but they ain't pulling like they used to.
You so crazy.
Flexible as they used to. All of a sudden, they hit the motherfucker out like, you know, you could come through. You know, don't try anything though. And the whole time you're like, girl, I know like 10 niggas that hit that, but you want to tell me not to try anything. Now you want to be subtle and angel. Now you want to give me a chance. So now you want to give me a chance. Now you want to give me a chance.
Wait, so guys so guys never say what their body count is. Like, you would never know, because you don't know any of that information.
No,
so
forget body count. He just said kids.
Like that's what I'm saying. The kids, like, that's just the last part. Like,
no, fuck the body count. Fuck the body count.
Look, the kids part, guys will have a whole bunch of baby mamas. Guys will tell you that they're not ready for relationships. Guys will be hurt and be done and never talk to another girl seriously and be like, we're just dating and we're just this. Like, but that's out there too. So you can't just say it's.
I'm talking about real motherfuckers, real man who got a career, ain't trying to fuck with a woman who's been shallow with her pussy all these years. Now all of a sudden, you know what? I want some substance inside this now. And hey, you got your career going? Nah, I'm cool. I'm good. You had your chance. You know, but
honestly, those are the ones that are married and have kids.
True, or still waiting for their queen. You know, because when you're like a guy like a Barack Obama or even a Cairo, our co-host right here. Cairo's a guy. He strikes those Obama-like ways. He's subtle, smart, intelligent, but only a certain kind of woman could really bring out. Because Cairo's already smart and ambitious as he is, but a certain kind of woman that's like on some Michelle, got the Michelle Obama essence, or just the qualities like, you know, I'm empower him. Cairo will be just that much higher than where he is because he got the right woman. He can always get sex. Men can always get sex, but when men on some revolution, like how Nipsey Hussle, Nipsey was getting plenty of cheeks, but he saw some in Laura London, and it's like certain women that a man like, that's the woman I want. I gotta have her, and if he can't have her, he just fuck it. I'm just gonna date. Because he knows what he likes, and that woman might be the one to empower him and he empower her. They making money together, they making success, they have a happy family and things like that. But if she don't see it, if she don't see him, if she don't see Cairo or as that king that she wants in her life, guess what? All he could do is just be that guy that's just there until the woman, another woman give him a chance, who may not be on that level that the woman he wanted was.
Let's get one thing straight. I'm never just there. I'm never. Like I said, if they don't want me, I'm gone. All right.
That's right. But you know what? I also feel, I mean, just based on your platform here today and the conversation of dating boss women, I feel like that's what separates women from men, because here you are saying that you're looking for someone, not saying you in particular, but that it would be best if someone came along, that right woman, to help you get to your next level, unlock your next level, right? Which I feel like that's what relationships do. They make everything about yourself better. But Like I said, the difference between women and a man, a woman's not going to wait for that man to make her better. She's just going to keep on doing it. And eventually she might be that one girl you looked at, but you wasn't looking at like that. But her success is making you go, wow, you're so attractive. That is going to be you. That is going to be you if you're like, you know what? The right one hasn't come around yet, but I'm going to keep doing me. I'm going to keep doing this. I'm going to keep progressing. Guess what? Before you know it, she's going to be right there. And you're going to be like, oh, didn't see you there. Well, she didn't see you either, but she saw your growth and your progress and you're more attractive. She wants to bring more to you now. You're going to have multiple women wanting to bring and add on to what you got going on. Just the same way as a woman has her things going and a man's looking at her like, what can I bring to you? What can we do to make things better? Then you guys have a good relationship once that is established, and then you're good. But if you're just sitting, waiting, dating pointless women because you're bored, that's all you're going to be worried about.
I saw this documentary years ago, like 12 years ago, called Diary of a Tired Black Man. And he had a quote in there about, it was actually inspiring. And we had a quote in there about a strong black woman. It was like, strong black woman is a woman who could weather many storms throughout her life, but still manage to keep the goodness of her character. And there's a lot of strong black women, but there's a lot of women, though, that allow damages of past relationships change who they are instead of staying true to, because we all get hurt. But it's like, why change who you are? I've seen girls say, oh, I'm gonna do this because niggas do it. I'm gonna do this. And guys be like, well, girls do this, I'm gonna do this. And it's like, why do the damage? Why don't you stay true to who you are? And like you said, but a lot of people ain't true. So what I want to do is
in relationships, you tend to mold with that person. That's what it takes to be in a relationship. So if you have multiple relationships that you're in that they're failing and they failed, it's easy to wallow somewhere in depression and sadness and not be able to build yourself. Because every time you leave a relationship, you got to rebuild yourself back to who you were, because you just became or molded into someone else and what they like and what they like to do. And you guys had this whole life together that may have not been anything you used to do, but it is with that man. Now that man's not there.
Miss Toya, thick fits. You've been quiet this whole conversation. People should give you shout outs. You the vet to this thing.
Right.
We want to close. I want to let you close out this thing on a comment, and then we're gonna close out with Janae, and then we'll let you folks go. I just want to get your perspective.
I'm about to say, Kayleen been quieter than me. She ain't said a word.
Right.
Kayleen
agreed.
I just
agreed.
I've been listening. You guys are amazing. I had nothing to say today. I just wanted to listen to all the amazing wisdom from you beautiful ladies. And that's what I was here for today. And I received it and it was beautiful. So thank you.
Nice.
Well, I don't know. That statement you was talking about when females get to the hump, I think that's the most ignorant shit I done heard in a long time. And I'm tired of people putting so much emphasis on a female. So you can have a female that have one baby that just tear her whole body up, and all of a sudden she damaged goods. But you know what I'm saying? You done had all these other kids from all these, and nothing happens to your body. But you want women to just snap back and go like that is just too much pressure.
And then they rag on you for having big bodies.
Then you want to talk shit. But you want gave me the baby. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, that woman could have been. No, but you talking about some over the hill. You like women probably know 10 females that done smash you, but you worry about the 10 dudes that done smash her. So we talking about allowing grace and allowing people to change. So maybe I was a hoe and now I'm trying to change my ways. Why do you have a problem with that?
Right.
Why is that shouldn't be an issue?
Taking the proper time to even heal. So all those men you was fucking, I'm going to be the recipient of.
So why you at my house then if I ain't healed?
You said what?
Why you at my house if I ain't healed? Why you at my house if I ain't healed?
Because I might want some sex. I'm speaking as a man.
Right. So you want to damage me further rather than trying to help me go. So that means you need to stay where you at. But then y'all wonder why females be crazy. You know I'm broken, but then you come over here and you want something more. You already know I'm broken. But then you want to call me
you.
crazy afterwards.
I agree with you. But just if you know you're broken, stop letting more people in allow you to be more broken. Not you, just in general.
Right, no, but then but there's people that aren't aware of the things that they got going on. So when a person is coming to mesh or be with you, they're supposed to love you enough or care about you enough, forget love, that even we're spending time here, maybe we're friends right now. You're just wanting to be with me or whatever the case is. You should always be giving into that relationship. Trying to help that person be better or learn about themselves because they may not know it yet. And that's why they keep going into the same constant battles, you know? And when there's somebody next to you that you respect and you care for, whether it's in a relationship or not, once they're giving you that information, you could receive it better. So you could take that opportunity to make that person a better person versus looking at, like she was saying, all the bad things she got going on, because that might be a great woman for you beyond all of that stuff if it were to be worked on.
But if she don't want your ass, there ain't nothing you can do as a man.
Well, I know what you were saying. You were saying that there's women that are like, maybe you showed interest to, and she's like, and she goes on to this guy, she lives her whole life, and then she's like, oh, I'm free now. What did you?
Yeah, but that's disrespectful. The only reason I said that because that's saying that you just know that, well, I did all, he's gonna be there. If he's still there, I'll give him, he gonna take me because he always wanted me.
But James,
that's kind of
what if she realized after all of that, she was like, wow, he was what I needed. I'm ready to be that woman for him. What's up? And you're like, fuck you.
But
and she's like,
but
I just learned. Right.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, but a guy still might still fuck you. I'm depending on how much I like you, I might still hit to make one.
But you ain't gonna wife it.
Pass, not that six. It depends. If you were someone who smashed my friend, if you was someone who smashed others around me or always told me I wasn't good
that's
enough,
doing too much.
Why now am I good enough? Why am I
That's way too much.
You remote me. Yeah, because it's like they're not valuing you. They value you after they've been broken. And if they healed and had time to be in a better space, like, look, I've chilled, I haven't dated in a couple years or some months or something, I'm in another space and you're in a different space and y'all open, that's different. But if she just finished, gotten out of this dude, that dude, and then it's like, I want to give you a chance. Huh? Nah, you got.
So that's the red flags you were talking about that you have to acknowledge and you have to move on.
I've turned down women I did not want to turn down because it was just they were in the same woman they was before, and not even just because of looks, but their mental space, their emotional space. It's like, you want me to deal with that? No. Like, you probably wouldn't have to deal with that if you gave me the chance then. Maybe you still would have, but we don't know because I never got that chance to show you how much I wanted to love you.
And sometimes you'll never get that chance, which is why I always say, take care of yourselves. And on that note, we're going to wrap up. Sorry, it's over. This has been a fantastic conversation, ladies. Thank you so much for staying on. I know we had some other people. Thank you to Tiffany, Mikeal, everyone else who was on who had to go early. Everyone else.
Yes, I appreciate you, ladies. Jazzy, Toya, Britt, Janae for jumping in.
Thanks for the invite.
Yeah, of course. I thought Carver signed out. He's infamous for signing out before everything's over. So I really know.
Well, thank you.
I appreciate y'all. All the ladies that was on, and Tunisia, and both Tiffany's, Toney and Tiffany Ramm, Mikeal. The ladies, man, this was good. And also Diana. Thank you, ladies, for taking that time out. When we're gonna tag you in these things, we trying to empower motherfuckers out here. So let's do this shit. Yeah. God bless you, ladies.
Thank you so much.
Of course. Take care. Enjoy your Sunday, guys.
All right. Appreciate y'all.
Yay.
We did it.
Thank you, Cairo, for coming in. That was cool.
Yeah, I came in and you were like, I didn't even see you. So I was like, yo, did he pop out as soon as I got in here? Like, what happened? I guess
So it was terrible. The enemy was trying to work, but you came in, and then when I heard you came in, and it was still messing up, I was like, all right, if all else, Cairo knows what to do.
I was listening, and I was like, they sound like they're already having a conversation. So my job here is to actually just let them talk, let them know I'm here, but just to kind of let them talk and just.
When you came in, you said, "I'm Cairo, sorry I'm late," and it wouldn't let me talk, and I was like, "Screw it!" And I kept chiming in, and it kept taking me out. It did that for the longest, and I was just like, "Oh my goodness!" It was just crazy, and it cut off in the middle of talking. I just introduced everybody, and I thanked them.
Yeah, because when I came in, I hadn't missed anything, and I was like, "Really?" It sounded like y'all were having a whole conversation. But nah,
but I knew that was gonna happen. I was just hoping it didn't die. Like I was like, man, as long as the conversation's still going, they gonna talk. And when I got on, I was hearing them. I was like, Kyra's still in on yet? I was like, let them talk, and it kept just cutting off. But you know, I'm glad. Like, what you think? You know, it was good. You see, I was particular about the ladies I brought on. You know,
no. Like I had no clue who like you were really bringing on. All I could see was like, you know, the emails. But great selection. They were all incredibly intelligent. All had great things to say. All incredibly beautiful. All that good thing. So that's why I didn't really. That's why I can understand why Kayla and I didn't even really say anything, because I was doing the same thing as her. I was like, I'm just gonna sit here and just let y'all just say all these amazing things, and I'll pop in, you know, when I need to. But definitely very much a needed conversation. My favorite part was definitely, I think it was between Mikeal and
I do say Mikeal
and someone else. I didn't get a chance to meet everyone, but you know, just everyone taking accountability for things that made wrong in relationships. That was my favorite part, because I'm gonna tell you, JT, when you told me you had 8 women coming on, I was so prepared. You know, fresh off of watching the Kevin Samuels and Joe Budden podcast, I was so prepared on full Kevin Samuels and like rip people apart and let them know. But I was like, no, y'all are on it. I ain't got to say nothing. So I just, you know, sat back and enjoyed myself.
Same with me, because I was ready too. I'm glad you saw that Kevin Samuels, and I wanted to bring that up, but it was just the flow. So
I
wanted to get their opinion on him.
And I was thinking about bringing that up, but with the way the conversation was going, I was like, I don't really want to flip this. I don't want to flip the flow of what's going on, because I had that and something else I wanted to bring up, but no, I just let it happen. No, great conversation. Definitely should, you know, try to have them on again. Maybe not all at the same time, even though it worked out great.
Yeah.
But, you know, just definitely want to have them on again.
And I had a feeling that was going to happen. There was going to be some staggers. So I was like, all right, cool, that could work, because there's going to be so many people on. Some people got to get off. I was like, all right, let them get their say. All right, cool. I know she got to get off at this time. That's why I was like, and she reminded me. I was like, I know you got to get off. I was like, go ahead, then sing your piece. So I want everybody to at least get something in.
Yeah, but I'm glad.
That was why you like 10 more minutes. So I was like, wait, let me let ThickFit and Jazzy at least get one more thing in.
Yeah, it was, you know, I've been doing this, I did this 48-hour film fest thing today. So I made a short film in less than a day.
I did 2 of those, one in DC, one out here.
Yeah, so and I was working all last week, so I was exhausted. So that's why I was like, let me just get a couple things in, and then I can hop on. But you know, I can't be on here forever. But anyway, regardless, again, thank you to all the women that we had on. I don't have any show requests except.
Please tell me you saw Snowfall.
Snowfall? Yeah, I'm all caught up.
That shit. Man, I'm so glad they got picked up for another season. Like,
yeah, somebody.
I'm trying to think how far is too far though. Like, how many seasons they gonna think? You think next season will be the last, or they probably?
Yeah, I don't think it should go to 6. I don't, because this is 4, right?
This is 4, yeah.
It shouldn't go to 6. I think one more, and call it quits. If someone on the internet was saying like the Snowfall is better than The Wire, I'm like, no, it's not. No, it's not. Snowfall is an amazing show, but it's not The Wire. It's just not.
I'm gonna catch up on The Wire again, because
I rewatched that was not. And I would say even for us to even characterize Snowfall in that kind of conversation, you would need a couple years until the show was over to see how it's impacted.
Yeah. Oh, this is a show I just started watching, and I ain't gonna lie, this shit is so cheesy, but I fucking love just the corny cheesiness behind it. This Is Us.
Oh yeah, that's it. I've been on that show a few times. Yeah.
Oh, you have?
Mm-hmm. I was on it when Felicia Rashad was there.
I'm only on season 1, but damn, this is the first episode alone. Talking about that shit. Yeah, I love that show, yo.
Because I really like Sterling K. Brown. He's
one of
my favorite. Again, like, you know, when I'm doing background, I'm
only in the first season. Don't tell anything.
I haven't watched the show, so I can't really tell you. But I'm just saying, in terms of, you know, as another actor, as a black actor in general, just being around him, I like the way he works on set. You know, he's attentive when he needs to be, and then he's free flowing in other moments. So I like being around him.
So not the brother with the glasses, right? Dark skinned brother, right?
Yeah. The one who's always crying.
Yeah. He like, I love this. I caught it by accident, and after the first episode, I was like, "Oh, ain't this this shit is." And now I'm like, and good. I'm looking for. I be wanting to get to the house just to, like, after, like, doing work or whatever. I'm like last night I was like, man, I want to get home and watch a few episodes of This Is Us, because that shit is so.
That's good for you. I think that'll help you. I think it's good for you to have a show like that.
Especially having a son now and stuff. It's so, man, it's cool, man. I feel good, man. I'm so glad it worked out today. I'm glad you came on, man. I did want to try back at the women, but they were so cool with it.
Nah, they were
open.
They were too good. They were too good.
Yeah, it's like, you're talking about accountability. I had to end the section. I'm like, oh, shit, y'all already talking about it. Well, fuck, okay.
Yeah. That's it. That's all we got to say.
Thank you for tapping in. Shout out to Imani. She got called in today, medical field. We love her. You know, do your thing, baby. Thank you for Kaylee for jumping on, and all the beautiful women that jumped on. You know, very estrogenic episode. We needed. You know, because we had
it was a very boss episode. That's what I'm gonna say. Not estrogenic. What?
I know. I was trying to be funny. I know. Yeah, but that's what I said. That's why the title. I was like, dating as a. I was like, what's dating as a boss woman or boss woman dating chronicles?
I think you should just say boss woman talk.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because we didn't really like just talk. Yeah, it's boss woman talk. But yeah. Anyway, thank y'all for tapping in.
We out.
I gotta go.
Yes, thank you for tapping in to Authentic Podcast Chicken Nerds. I'm leaving outside of Starbucks now because I need a Wi-Fi, so don't judge me.
I get it, bro. You got to do what you got to do for the podcast. All right. Thanks, y'all, again. Thanks for tapping in, and as always, stay black.
Peace. Blessings.
All right.
Turned up by the way to the max. We turned up by the way to the max. We turned up, yeah. Turned up by the way to the max. We turned up, yeah. Turned up by the way to the max. We turned up.